Have you ever wondered why some people act so contradictory when they're in love? There are moments when everything seems clear, obvious that love is there, and yet there are details, gestures, or silences that make you question it. But what if I told you that deep love, the kind that arises from the unconscious, the kind we don't even fully recognize ourselves, reveals itself through small actions that often go unnoticed? Carl Jung dedicated much of his life to understanding the human soul, invisible bonds and emotions that can't always be named, but that shape our decisions. And when someone is truly in love, even without realizing it, their soul reveals it long before their mind can grasp it. That man who might confuse you with his silences, his distant manner, or his sudden closeness might be far more in love with you than he even understands. Because love doesn't always follow logic or come through clear words. Sometimes it seeps through dreams, through the way he looks at you when he thinks you're not watching, through the way his behavior shifts around you and only around you. Jung said that what we do not make conscious appears in our lives as fate, and that applies to love too. If he hasn't yet become aware of what he feels, his soul is already acting on his behalf. So how can you tell if he's truly in love? What signs does his unconscious, his heart, his deepest emotions give you, even if he doesn't say it out loud? This won't be a superficial analysis. I won't talk about text messages or romantic cliches. We're going to dive into what Jung called the symbols of the soul, into how a man expresses himself when something inside him vibrates every time you're near, even if he doesn't fully comprehend it himself. And before we go further, I want you to pay close attention to each sign, because often the mistake we make is to wait for declarations, promises, or grand gestures, and we miss what's most valuable: the way someone transforms their inner world simply because you are part of it. Jung taught that true love isn't chosen, isn't programmed, and it appears as an inevitable force that disarms our barriers and connects us with the essence of who we are. So, open your intuition, your sensitivity, and observe the following. If that man does even one of these things, if you've seen him react in any of these ways, it's because he's deeply moved by you and probably much more in love than his rational mind is ready to admit. I'm going to show you these signs one by one, from the most subtle to the most revealing. And I ask that you stay until the end, because understanding this will not only help you see love in a deeper way, but also heal many doubts that may have lived in your heart for too long. It's not just about knowing if he loves you, but about seeing how a person's soul responds to real love. When a man is deeply touched by a feminine presence that transforms him, even if he can't explain it with words, his behavior starts to change in ways even he can't control. And the first great sign lies in how his attention shifts. It's not obvious attention, the kind that seeks to impress or get attention in return. It's something subtler, more genuine. He starts noticing details others wouldn't. How you're really feeling even when you say, "I'm fine." How you've changed your hairstyle without mentioning it, or if something in your voice sounds different. This kind of attention doesn't come from shallow interest. It's born from a deep connection. Jung believed that true emotions are projected so we can understand them, and that makes this kind of man respond from within, not as part of a plan. He doesn't need to see you every day to remember you. You'll notice he brings you up at unexpected times, asks about something he hadn't followed up on, or just shows up for no clear reason. He doesn't do it out of habit. It's because his unconscious is pulling him toward you. He's processing something he hasn't yet defined, but that is already moving him. This is not obsession or dependence. It's emotional resonance. Your energy has touched something in him, and that something begins to speak without the need for words. Another powerful sign is how he starts to change when he's around you. Some men behave the same with everyone, but when a man is truly in love, Even if he's not consciously aware of it, his attitude toward you is different. He may appear more vulnerable, more open, even more clumsy, because true love doesn't seek perfection. It disarms, humanizes, makes things real. If he lets his guard down only with you, if his silences aren't awkward but deep, you're witnessing something that goes beyond fleeting interest. Jung believed that what the soul loves, it protects. That man may start to care about you in ways that have no logical explanation, making sure you're okay, that you're warm, that you don't walk alone, that you eat on time. It's not control or ego. It's a deep inner sense of emotional responsibility, as if his balance also depended on yours. And when he takes care of you with that quiet devotion without asking for anything in return, it means he has already made you part of his inner world, even if he doesn't say it or understand it himself. So if you're seeing these signs, don't take them lightly. Don't be misled by his lack of outward clarity. What is living inside is much greater than it seems. What comes next are even deeper signs that only emerge when the connection is real. There are moments when a man doesn't need to say anything. His energy gives him away. There may be no confessions, no promises, but there's something in the way he looks at you, how his breathing changes when you're near, how he sits in silence with you without needing to fill it. That silence is presence. It's soul connecting with soul. If a man is more in love than he dares to admit, his body says it all. Watch how he reacts when others talk about you. If someone praises you, pay attention to his eyes. If someone criticizes you, watch his expression. Love doesn't need conscious awareness to defend what it cherishes. Instinct acts even when the mind doesn't understand. Jung said that the unconscious has its own paths, and often we're guided by emotions we don't yet know how to name. If a man reacts even just with a glance when your name comes up, it's because something inside him has already decided you matter. Then there's effort. When someone feels something real, they make an effort. It doesn't have to be big. It's in how he listens, how he remembers something you said, how he adjusts his schedule, or how he apologizes if he feels he messed up. That quiet effort speaks louder than 1,000 words, because someone who doesn't feel anything doesn't move. But someone who loves, even without fully understanding it, makes space, not to impress, but because his inner world is already rearranging to include you. And there's one sign that very few notice. He starts to change even when you're not around. His routine shifts, his thoughts scatter. He may seem more distracted, more introspective, as if something inside him has awakened and he doesn't yet know why. But you are there, present in his mind, in his emotions, in what used to be automatic and now no longer is. Jung spoke of the power internal figures have to transform a person even without physical contact. And you, without intending to have become a figure that lives within him, even if he doesn't say it, even if he denies it, you are already there. That's why you shouldn't be fooled by appearances. Many men remain silent about what they feel, not because they lack emotion, but because they struggle to translate the language of the soul into the language of logic. And that's where you, if you pay close attention, can see beyond. You can perceive what even he has not yet realized, that his heart has already made a decision. Stay with me because there are more signs that reveal this silent but powerful love. And once you understand them all, you'll see the full picture. One that might forever change the way you understand love. There is a transformation that happens in the heart of a man in love, and it's rarely noticeable at first. It's slow, almost invisible, but deeply powerful. This transformation shows when he begins to let go of attitudes that were once part of his daily life. Maybe he used to avoid commitment. Maybe he always kept an emotional distance from people. Or perhaps he simply lived in a kind of comfortable individualism. But since you've been around, something inside him is being shaken. Thinking only about himself is no longer enough. He starts opening up mental and emotional space that he was once unwilling to give. And he doesn't do this as a sacrifice. He does it almost unconsciously, as if his soul were adapting to a new reality, calling him from deep within. Notice if he's begun to share parts of his life with you that he didn't show anyone before. I'm not talking about superficial details, but intimate fragments of his story, his fears, his mistakes, his most hidden dreams. When a man connects with you at that level, he begins to reveal his humanity without filters. Not because he wants to seem perfect, but because he begins to trust in a way he's never experienced before. At that point, it's no longer about conquest or seduction games, it's surrender. And that surrender, even if it seems small, is the greatest proof that something inside him has changed. Jung said that the soul needs a mirror to truly know itself, and you, through your presence, become that mirror. He begins to see you, and at the same time he starts to see himself in a different way. There's another detail that often goes unnoticed: how he reacts to your emotions. Not everyone knows how to handle another person's emotional intensity, but when a man is truly connected to you, he starts to sync with your emotions without realizing it. He feels your joy and smiles with you, but also becomes unsettled when he senses your sadness. Even if he doesn't have the right words, his energy shifts when you do. He might not ask you directly if you're okay, but you'll notice it in how he looks at you, in how his voice softens, in how he comes closer. Not knowing precisely what to do, but yearning to do something. That wish to be with you in your feeling, even without knowing how, is among the most sincere expressions of unconscious love. And possibly the most telling of everything is what occurs when you are not near. Observe how he behaves in your absence. If he mentions you in everyday conversation, if he reserves things to share with you afterward, if an event happens and you are the initial person who enters his thoughts, those are the instants that genuinely count. When there is no physical presence to prompt it, but you still dwell in his inner world, in his contemplations, in his feelings, then there is no question. He is more enamored than he understands, because what endures in absence is more powerful than what is voiced in presence. And that is no accident. That is the soul speaking. All of this is not about speculating what someone feels. It is about learning to read with your heart. Because love frequently does not arrive with words or assurance. It arrives with the signs the soul transmits when it starts to recognize another soul. Stay close, because what follows will reveal how love acts when it can no longer be restrained. There arrives a phase when a man, even without recognizing it, begins to require your presence, not as a routine, but as a form of equilibrium. He does not express it with romantic lines or planned declarations, but there is something in his energy that alters each time you are apart. He may not say it outright, but you will detect it in his restlessness when there is no word from you, in the manner he appears just when you are about to forget him, in how any reason seems valid provided it brings him near to you, even for a moment. It is not fixation or emotional need. It is an authentic connection, one that emerges from a place so profound that even he cannot clarify why he considers you so much, and that, according to Jung, makes perfect logic because the unconscious is not confined by reason or time. When a true emotion takes root there, it begins to take form in thoughts, impulses, choices. And one of the strongest ways this manifests is in how that man starts to regard your opinion, even in affairs that do not directly include you. Perhaps he begins to share his life plans and inquires what you believe, not to charm you, but because he sincerely cares whether those plans harmonize with you. He is not attempting to win you over. It is just that silently you are becoming a guiding figure in his emotional life. He may even start revealing his doubts, his moments of uncertainty, And that is not because he views you as a therapist or because he cannot manage his emotions, but because his soul has recognized in you a secure presence, someone with whom he can be his authentic self without armor, without tactics. And when a man reaches that point of emotional openness with you, there are no more obstacles, because love is not built on sureness. It is built on the capacity to be vulnerable without fear. That trust he places in you, even if he is not fully conscious of it, is one of the purest expressions of deep love. But what truly confirms it all is how he begins to envision his life with you, even if you never raise it. You will notice it when he references the future, and without realizing it, you are already included. He might utter something like, "Someday I would love to visit this place," and in that vision, you are there. He does not say it directly, but he implies it, and those small phrases, those spontaneous images, are open doors into his unconscious. In his mind, you are already part of the journey, not as a temporary visitor, but as a stable part of his ideal world. And you do not need to press him or demand clarity, because when the soul loves, it shows in the simplest gestures. And if he is doing this, if his energy, his actions, and his attention are naturally leaning toward you, then what exists is real, even if he does not comprehend it yet, even if he has not found the courage to say it aloud, because once the soul has chosen, everything else is just a matter of time. And in that time, you can see with the eyes of the soul what the mind still is not ready to admit. Stay with me, because there is still more to uncover. When a man starts looking at you as if you were something he does not want to lose, something begins to shift in the way he relates to you. And that shift is not superficial. It is not just about being more tender or seeking you out more often. It is about how his soul begins to reorganize his world around your existence. Because when a feeling is real, the other person stops being an addition. They become an essential part of the whole. You will see it in how he starts prioritizing you, even when he does not say it. Perhaps he is having a difficult day. Perhaps there are many things demanding his attention, but still, he shows up, not because he has to, but because he simply does not want to stop being there. Because being with you, even in quiet, brings him peace. And peace is one of the most underrated emotions in love, but also one of the most important. It is not just about feeling butterflies or experiencing excitement. True love, the kind that takes root in the unconscious, the kind Jung studied and recognized as a transformative force, also shows itself in the calm that arises when you are with someone who does not need to be different to be loved. When he feels at peace with you, when he realizes he can let his guard down, that he can be imperfect and still be accepted, then he begins to see you as home, not a physical place, but an emotional refuge. And when that happens, he starts doing something many do not notice right away. He begins to align himself with you without you ever asking. Maybe he starts enjoying the things you enjoy, taking interest in your passions, your ideas, in what makes you light up. It is not that he loses his individuality. It is that he discovers there is beauty in sharing what once was only his. This is not a coincidence. According to Jung, when two souls begin to resonate, the inner boundaries begin to soften. And that is where true intimacy is born. Not just desire, not just attraction, but that quiet sense of belonging that does not need explanation. Also, pay attention to how he defends you in your absence. Maybe you do not hear it, maybe you do not see it, but in small conversations, in moments where you are not even present, he takes your side. Not because he wants to gain something, but because deep inside he feels that protecting you is part of protecting what he started to love. Love does not always shout. Sometimes it simply acts. Sometimes it speaks through gestures no one else sees. And that kind of love, the one that defends you even in silence, is the most powerful. So if he does these things, if he changes his routine without realizing it, if he protects you in invisible ways, if he thinks of you before making important decisions, do not ignore it. You are witnessing an emotional truth that even he may not fully understand. And that is where the purest kind of love is born, in the part of us that has not yet been conditioned by fear, by logic, or by past wounds. Stay here because we are about to explore the deepest signs of a love that can no longer be hidden. And when we reach that point, when all the signs come together, when you look back and realize that this man has changed without noticing it, that his actions, his silences, his everyday gestures speak louder than any words, that is when you understand the most important thing. True love does not always arrive dramatically. It does not always come with fireworks or perfect declarations. Sometimes it shows up as constant presence, as silent care, as tenderness that does not need witnesses. And when a man is more in love with you than he realizes, his soul has already made a decision that his mind is only just beginning to grasp. Jung taught us that the unconscious does not lie, that deep within us there is a truth that reveals itself through symbols, emotions, and actions we do not always understand, but that are very real. And if you are seeing these signs, if you have felt this connection, if something inside you is telling you that what is happening between you is not random, listen to it. Trust your intuition. Because often what we name uncertainty is merely the mind striving to comprehend what the soul already understands. If this message resonated, if you saw yourself in these words, if you felt someone finally gave voice to what you've always sensed, then I ask you something simple yet powerful. Share this. Not for me, but for all those waiting for an answer, a sign, a deeper understanding of what they feel. True love, the kind born from the soul, needs to be recognized so it is not lost in the world's noise. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced this. If you're seeing these signs in someone, I would love to hear your story, connect with you, and continue building this space where emotions are honored, where the soul may speak, and where each person can feel truly seen and understood. Remember, each time you share, comment, or leave a heart, you help this message reach someone who genuinely needs it. Believe me, many people simply need to know that what they feel is not irrational. It is a profound way of loving. I will see you next time, but for now, hold this thought. If he is doing these things, do not doubt. He is far more in love with you than he realizes.